Minecraft is a game founded upon two core game mechanics, breaking and placing blocks. What happens when one of these mechanics is removed? Hello, I am Rockstar, and this is No Place for Blocks. We're going to create a new world, and this is actually my fourth attempt at doing this intro. Well, yeah. I just did an attempt where I'll probably post the clip of it as like a blooper or something, but I started a new world and the seed was just very bad. It was all islands and stuff. Game mode, we're actually going to set to hardcore this time. I've just changed my mind about that. But yeah, I'm playing in hardcore. Obviously, death is the end of the challenge. And I should explain the challenge. You can read the full rules and the fancy specifications in my blog post. We're going to select a seed. Let's call it reduction this time. I tried subtraction, and again, very islandy. Could have been interesting, but not really what I want to go for this attempt. We're going to have structures on, all types default. This time, we can't set these things. I decided maybe I won't have the bonus chest. I was experimenting with that, but yeah, doesn't really matter. And no cheats. The only reason I had that was because of a special exception with Ender Eyes, but we can do that by opening the world to LAN anyway, I believe. So when that does become an issue, we can do that. So we're going to create a world. Now, no place for blocks. Pretty much what it says on the tin. The challenge, you're not allowed to place blocks. And our goal is going to be to defeat the Ender Dragon, the traditional goal of Minecraft. I said it in quotes because such a thing has only been possible for about half the time Minecraft's existed, so world's loading in. At the moment, we've got an achievement. My skin isn't loading because the internet's not working for some dumb reason. Alright, so special rules and exceptions. Again, if you want to read the details, I'll kind of explain them as we go along. But yeah, for now I'll kind of not bother going into all the great details and get started. So we need food, and until we have a furnace established, we're not going to have a great source of good food. We're going to have to survive a lot on raw meat, and that's going to suck. So that's why I'm punching these cows to death, and there is no way we can make any kind of weapon because, oh that's right, we've got all the granite and stuff now. I mean, I'm in the later snapshot. But yes, we can't make a weapon because we don't have a workbench, and we can't make a workbench because that would involve placing a block, which we're not allowed to do. Except for all the special exceptions mentioned, again, in that blog post. So, that's why I'm punching these cows to death. Also, until we have a furnace established, we want to be really careful about not sprinting or wasting unnecessary hunger. Well, I mean, punching cows is kind of a bit of a waste of hunger, but it's necessary. So this is going to be a bit boring, but yes. So, again, as you can read in the blog post, I'm saying that a lot. I shouldn't have to mention that anymore. We need to find a village, essentially, so we can find a workbench and furnaces. If we can't do it in what seems to be a reasonable amount of time, previously, on previous attempts, I've done this sort of by noon on the second day, but I've kind of realised that's a little bit long. You have to kind of survive the first night with nothing, and that just gets a bit silly. So I'm kind of settling, going to experiment with doing it after sunset this first day. This is probably enough food to get started by. But yeah, until you can get that stuff established, you're in a very primitive state. No tools, no nothing. So hopefully these 22 raw steaks will keep me fed. And I saw some plains over this way, so we're going to hopefully find a village. Again, finding a village is preferable. There's a special exception. If you can't find one in that reasonable amount of time, you are allowed to place workbench and furnace. But finding a village is preferable because, for one, if you get furnaces and a blacksmith, you get 2 furnaces. There's also a chest with some other goodies, and there are other advantages to a village as well. But yes. So, while I'm at it, there's not a lot to do. I might as well talk about some of the other exceptions. Those pumpkins up there, I think they maybe, it looks like pumpkins, yeah. Pumpkins are also a good source of food, particularly when we don't have a furnace available. If we can also get eggs and feathers, not feathers, what am I thinking of? Sugar! Sugar, feathers, same thing, right? So I'm going to take a few of these, because before we have a furnace established, pumpkin pie is one of the best foods we can make without having to cook anything or craft anything. Well, you can craft just your 2x2. So I should mention my previous experience with this challenge. I've made 3 attempts previously. The first attempt and the third attempt ended in disaster. The third one I actually did record, but I didn't get very far. Actually, I think at the end of my UHC episode last time, I put it as bonus footage sped up. Just the video from that. If you're interested, that's where that came from. And again, both of those attempts I died horribly. The second time I did actually make some reasonable amount of progress. I made it to the nether and got killed by a blaze. But yeah. So yeah, a little bit of experience, not a whole lot. One thing I would like to do with this challenge, depending on how it turns out here, I guess a little bit, but I reckon it'll be really fun to do as a co-op, as a group event. Get 2 or 3 other people to, you know, play it. Of course, getting food would become even more hectic, because you'd need even more. But again, I also did reduce that restriction, and I'm going to experiment with just doing it the first sunset, because otherwise waiting around that long is just going to be annoying and stupid. I should have also thought about punching some oak trees to get apples, because that would also be a decent amount of food. You wouldn't get a whole lot, but I'm going to need a little bit of wood anyway for making tools and stuff. You don't need a whole lot of wood or any other resources, because there's not a whole lot you can do with them, which is one of the interesting factors about this challenge. Yeah, also the rule is we are allowed to place torches. As I said, just staring through the pitch darkness is just not fun. Becomes less challenging and more just annoying. And especially for you guys viewing at home, you don't really want to see the darkness all the time. So torches are allowed. And the other exception, of course, is fire. Normally not allowed to place fire, you know, light fires, or place water or lava, but for the purpose of lighting the nether portal, you are allowed to do that. For that only. Otherwise, there's really no other way of lighting nether portals. I mean, there are other ways, like you can use wood and get them to burn with lava and stuff like that, but you have to place that. Either way, you got to place something. You might as well do the simplest form and not make a stupidly complicated exception to the basic rules. Just do the simple. You can light a nether portal. And constructing a nether portal without placing blocks is kind of a feat of precision engineering in itself. So adding the extra challenge of having to do something stupid to light it is just a bit silly. Let's just keep the challenge to making it and not bother about the rest. Got some pigs here, lots of flowers. How's our time doing? It's a little bit past noon. There's another bit of plains. There's still no sign of a village. I might have to do the Plan B route. Just a little bit sad. That's what I ended up doing the last time when I actually made progress. Yeah, my first attempt I found a village, but it didn't have the workbench and furnace in it. And then it was night and I went running off like an idiot trying to explore a desert temple in the hope of getting some other supplies so I could find a better village, and I got horribly murdered. But yeah, again, my second attempt, I did succeed in establishing stuff, got good things, made it to the nether, wasn't able to achieve the nether blaze rod things I needed, because first blaze I found decided to set me on fire and I died horribly. But I guess it is a proof that such a thing can be achieved. I'm going to eat a little bit more. really would like to find a village though. If not, I mean, again, it's advantageous, as I mentioned before. It also feels a little bit less cheaty to the challenge to, you know, be able to do without having to use that exception. I mean, there still are the other exceptions we have to do, like the portal thing and the... what's the other? The torches. Oh, horses. They're probably mostly useless to me, but hey, they're horses. Oh, hello there. Bit of lag because the world's still generating, but I see a village and I do... is that... no, that's not. That's a well. So, here's our question. Is there or is there not a blacksmith? Blacksmith's probably the most important one because it has the furnaces, whereas the library, I think it is, has the crafting table. It's a bit less important because there's no advantage really to not having a crafting table, but it looks like we do have one. Also remember, like, we can harvest this wheat, which is cool, but we can't replant it because that's placing seeds. But now, in this new snapshot, the farmers will actually replant the crops, so that's kind of cool. Oh, and there's a blacksmith too. This is beautiful. I couldn't have asked for better. Alright, so we're going to cook up some of this food. I really should have got more logs. Well, I can just butcher someone's house a bit. I should start crafting some things and getting some better resources, but I might... maybe I'll whip up some charcoal so I can cook things a bit more efficiently. And while I'm at it, I'll punch down some more of the house and go back to the library and make a... oh, what do I need? A pickaxe, probably. Wooden pickaxe, and then I'll get some stone. And make stone tools. And I can happily start sprinting around everywhere now because I have the technology. And it's just starting to get dark too, so that was good timing. So I'm actually very pleased about this startup. I was afraid I'd just have to go and do the boring thing again. I could just rip up the floor right here, why not? Oh, I do have to remember though that that floor is not coming back, so maybe I should try and not make my life stupidly inconvenient. And I'm going to need to get some torches going along too. Particularly as it's getting dark. Yes. And, of course, other disadvantage is that my crafting table is here and my furnace is over there. I'm going to have to trek across there in the dark. And it's not like I can fence the place off or anything like that, because I can't place blocks. Whose genius idea was that? So we're going to make an axe. That'll help me in harvesting the houses. And a sword. That'll help me in self-defense. Maybe 2 swords, because that one will probably break fairly quickly. Axe. We don't really need a shovel much yet. I'm going to go check on the charcoal. I'd like to cook a bit more up, but I don't really have enough stuff yet. So let's just cannibalize this house some more. No monsters yet. I am actually playing on hard. Oh yeah, it's hardcore mode. Of course I'm playing on hard. What's this? 8. I got 8, yes. I can do that without wasting any. Sorry about the house guy. Probably trim some off the roof as well. And I also probably want to try and keep these guys alive as much as possible, because they can become beneficial possibly for trading. Now I should actually check. No, I think that's possible. Yes, so he should still consider this a valid house, as far as my knowledge of how houses are recognised go. So that's not really a problem. let's get some torches going. There's also lava here, which is actually incredibly useless to us. Because you have to remember, oh yeah, the chest, I didn't even check that. Iron boots, yes please. Yeah, you can't really do much with the lava because we can't move it anywhere. Back off, you swine. These are my villagers. And of course, there's not really anything I can... Well... Oh, wow, I'm down some health things already. I should pay attention to that. I'm actually starting to get a bit panicky. Probably unjustly. I mean, heck, these guys are gonna go prefer the villagers anyway, so that's... They're kind of bait, which is actually pretty handy. Hey! Unhand that guy. Actually, no, just let me live. I need to regen some health. Health must be regened. Oh. And I'd like to make some armor out of this leather, if I can get a moment's peace. And of course, no beds, because you can't get a bed on the ground without placing it, and that's illegal. So that's gonna suck as well. Let's light up the inside here so guys don't spawn in here. And let's make a chest plate, I believe, is the most beneficial thing. Alright, now I feel a little bit safer. Let's get some more torches going. And technically, I mean, if we're going by the rule of no blocks, and that will also mean no torches, that kind of means that, well, again, we said we're doing an exception for our own visibility, but in the spirit of the challenge, one of the things I mentioned was the possibility of not using, being able to have torches for visibility, but not the effect of mob spawning. Obviously, you'd need some kind of mod to do that, but it would be an interesting idea, definitely. But in that case, doing this like spamming torches to prevent mob spawning would be a thing that wouldn't actually be possible. Interesting thought. But again, we're not doing that. We're going to go nuts with our torches and appreciate our liberty. And fight off these deadheads. And defend the civilians. Shoot him, shoot him. Thank you. What a blessing that this isn't also ultra hardcore mode, because that would be stupid. Definitely glad I don't have to survive all night without being able to make weapons and things. I mean, obviously I can just dig up myself a hole. I mean, I'd have to punch it. It'll be a pain and hide in it. Maybe what I should try and do is like dig like a trench around the village so the monsters can't get in. That might take a while. Well, it will take a while. Whether it's actually worth that amount of time and effort is debatable. Alright, so moon's starting to go down. There's a creeper in the blacksmith. Ah! I totally got turned around there and lost where I was at. And obviously these holes these guys are making, I can't fill these in. I actually very much hope they don't blow up the furnaces, because that would be tragic. I guess that would mean automatic failure. Or I'd have to go look for another one. I don't know if the exception would reapply because the things got blown up. It seems, I don't know. I'd have to make a decision about that one, if it actually happened. Luckily it hasn't happened yet, so for the moment, I will just try and stop that happening. I got more stuff. Can make some more torches. Whew. This is a very, very stressful night. Want some more pigs. I don't know if I want to keep some of these guys alive and try and breed them. Again, my wheat supplies are limited, because I can't actually farm any wheat. I think it might be worth digging a bit of a trench just around this blacksmith, like that. So I can stand up here and I can jump up there, fine, but no monsters will be able to. Other than spiders, of course, they'll be able to do their spidery ways. And I can't, actually I can prevent that if I also dig around underneath it. The spiders shouldn't be able to climb up the walls. So that's a good technique. We can have security. Obviously, we've still got the problem. If we need to get to the workbench, we have to go all the way over there. Actually, there's a library right here. I can use that. I don't know why I've been going all the way over there all the time. So that's a benefit. Don't really know what I want to sell these guys or buy from them, other than Ender Eyes. And if you haven't read the thing, there's some other exceptions about Ender Eyes, and we don't actually need the full set. We only need, what did I say, 3. But also one has to be legitimately made with blaze rods. Not that it's not illegitimate to buy them, but one has to be made with blaze rods, that's the rule. So we need at least the 1. So it means we're going to need at some stage to hunt some Endermen. And we want at least 2 Ender Pearls, because we need 1 to make the Ender Eye to put in the portal. But we also want 1 to use when we get to the end, because you spawn on that platform. It's quite often that it's separate from the mainland, and if you don't have an Ender Pearl with it, you not being able to place blocks and build a bridge or anything, we'd end up being stranded, and that would be a terrible way to end this series. Alright, so it's getting daytime now, which is kind of sad because I need to do some caving. Really get equipped. I need to be able to make a portal and probably some full iron armor. If I'm going to make a portal, I really want to find diamonds, because otherwise it's going to take, could take literally an hour just punching away the obsidian blocks necessary.